Hamas in Tehran the same day it takes out one of the highest-ranking officials in Hezbollah in Beirut. What does that mean moving forward? As well as Kamala Harris's big rally in Atlanta. Thousands of people show up for her, and definitely not Megan Thee Stallion. I am Dan O'Donnell. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will play Guess What's Racist, America's favorite game show. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we also have some state fair tickets to give away. I believe also zoo a la carte tickets. I figure one of those two, possibly both, will figure into our prize for America's favorite game show. That's coming up about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Coming up later this hour, we will name the unhinged liberal of the day. Who got the J.D. Vance hates childless cat ladies attack line so incredibly wrong that they actually had to lock their Twitter account? Find out. The unhinged liberal of the day. We begin, though, with the state's largest early vote drive. And it seems to me, ladies and gentlemen, we need a refresher course on why it is we're doing this. Here's how it works. Early voting is underway ahead of the August 13th primary, and there is a big ballot question on the ballot. In fact, there are two. Both essentially ask the same thing. Does the governor have to consult with the state legislature and get legislative approval before spending federal money? Specifically, money that is actually still out there in Governor Evers' personal slush fund from nearly $6 billion with a B dollars of COVID relief money that has been spent on such decidedly non-COVID related items as a conference center in Janesville, a soccer stadium in Milwaukee, and more DEI programs than you can shake a stick at. The state's largest early vote drive works like this. First, go out and early vote. You should be able to find locations and hours for early voting at your municipal clerk's office. I have no idea if you live in the town of Vernon when early voting is for you. Best resource I can tell you, go to the city clerk. Once you do that, once you early vote or return your mail-in ballot, let me know about it. Shoot me a text on the adventknows.com talk and text line, 414-799-1130. Reach me toll free, 1-800-838-9476, and let me know you voted. Your job is not done there. Once you early vote, I would love it if you took your wife out for a lunch date. Maybe your kids are home for college. They go back in a couple of weeks. Perfect thing to do. Everybody together. Maybe they're working during the summer. Get them on their lunch break. Take them out to lunch. I am told college kids love free meals. They will even hang out with mom and dad if you feed them. This is what I'm told. I'm learning the same thing with high school kids. Heck, they'll even bring their friends. Get them to early vote. If they're not registered, get them registered. You can do it right there at the early voting location. It's about as easy as can be. In fact, I was out there at my municipal, my city hall, at my early voting location. It took me a grand total. I actually timed it. In the door, out the door was about 6 minutes and 19 seconds, give or take. And of course, me being me, I stopped to talk to somebody just very briefly, but I had my daughter with me. We were on our way to get soccer cleats, and she was kind of pushing me out the door and saying, "Daddy, we have to go. Daddy, we have to go." It's easy. Tell me about it. We are trying to get as many conservatives early voting as possible. Now, people have been asking me, why? Dan, what does it matter? I always vote same day. I think that because I live in X city, maybe it's Milwaukee, maybe it's Madison, Racine, I have heard quite a bit. I don't trust that they're not going to throw out my vote. I don't trust that my vote is actually going to be counted. Well, there is actually accountability in that. If you go to myvote.wi.gov, you can actually see the status of your ballot. Once it is returned, it will mark returned absentee ballot under your name. You just search your name, your address. It's easy. Once your ballot is counted, now this can take up to a week or two after the election. And remember, ballots are not counted until election day. I mistakenly said they're fed through a machine. They're kind of not. They're put into a locked box after they're put in an envelope. So you get the ballot, you have it filled out, you fill it out in secret, and then you send it to somebody who, after you seal the ballot, they sign it. It's usually a municipal employee or a volunteer. They serve as your witness. And it's the easiest thing in the world. You then take your ballot, you put it into the locked box. Nobody takes it from you. Put it in there. At least this was how it works in my municipality. And then it sits there until election day, where it is taken out and counted. If for whatever reason your ballot is not counted, you then go to your municipal clerk and say, hey, my ballot wasn't counted. Wait until 2 weeks after the election. I can tell you, as the person in 2020 who got every report of every single bit of voter irregularity, in fact, I was actually communicating regularly with the Trump campaign's attorneys. You want to know something? One of the strangest things for me in all of 2020, and what was a very weird year, is the fact that I now have Rudy Giuliani's cell phone number. That's how much contact I was in with the Trump campaign. Rudy was serving as sort of the coordinator of all the efforts to find all of the voter fraud. And of course, I was one of the point people in Wisconsin because I was the one who, I believe, found actual evidence of voting fraud in nursing homes. This was where people's votes were literally stolen from them. People who clearly did not have the mental faculties to be able to intelligently mark a ballot. They had their ballots marked for them. I have not heard one example in all of my years of investigating this sort of stuff of one person who turned in an absentee ballot and had it not count. It just does not happen. Your vote is safe. Now you might be asking, well, Dan, my vote counts just the same. What does it matter if I early vote or I vote on the same day of the election? I don't know about you, but I can't predict the future. I can't predict whether my son is going to get appendicitis and I'm going to have to rush him to the emergency room on November 5th. Can you? Can you predict whether your mom's going to fall down a set of stairs and you're going to be busy with that as it appears she has a fractured hip? You have no idea whether that's going to happen. You have a 2-week window in order to ensure that you cast a ballot. You're essentially rolling dice that you're going to be free on election day. On August 13th, all manner of things can happen because it's such a small election, relatively speaking. When I say small, I don't mean lesser importance. What I do mean is far less turnout, therefore far less hoopla surrounding it. You might plumb forget. There is a phenomenon in the summer where the days all kind of run together. Even those of us who aren't retired, that's what my dad always says. One of the most challenging things about being a retired guy is remembering what day it is. It's like every day is a Saturday to him. Like, well, I usually golf on Wednesdays. I guess it's Wednesday now. All right. What if you just plumb forget? What if it is 6:58 p.m. and all of a sudden you realize, oh God, I totally forgot to vote. Well, you've had almost 2 weeks to get that ballot in and to ensure that none of those scenarios happen. But the biggest reason, and one that I have heard bizarrely enough, and this probably explains why I called the Robin Vos recall effort Vos Recall 2 Moronic Boogaloo. Because I heard on my Facebook page from a couple of the people who are deeply involved or supportive of the Vos recall. They couldn't believe that I would dare. Well, now, they can because I'm a Voss sycophant and voice for the nameless, faceless establishment, which is constantly trying to put them down. Remember, folks, this is not mental illness. It is not acute paranoia that somebody is always trying to get you, and that the radio man is part of a secret cabal with Robin Voss. And who else would be in our cabal? Voss, Devin LeMahieu, I don't know. Who else secretly controls things? Tyler August, yeah, he's in there. Barb Dietrich. You're just picking random names now. Okay, it's us. It's the Bradley Foundation. Yeah, the Bradley Foundation is secretly rigging things against you, against Linda in Racine. We are all targeting you. Watch out. Those helicopters that you constantly hear overhead, that's us. That's monitoring you. So the Voss Recall 2 moronic boogaloo people have specific thoughts about how getting conservatives to vote early en masse is actually a plot by Robin Voss for liberal Democrat control. Now, I assume the vast majority of you don't subscribe to this truly poisoned line of thinking. But the idea here that this is somehow playing into Democrats' hands is entirely wrong. Why have Democrats been such big proponents of early voting for a decade? Why have they dragged Republicans kicking and screaming into voting month, election month, as opposed to election day? Because they clearly see it as a big advantage for Democrats, right? What do you think happens if a whole bunch of conservatives all of a sudden start going out in early voting? What happens if the massive lead that Democrats build up in the 2 weeks before Election Day suddenly evaporates? Well, we know there are a whole lot of our voters who are still just traditionalists or obstinate, or they believe that their vote's going to be stolen, or they believe that the Voss helicopters are coming and they're going to be shot down by a sniper if they dare vote early. Whatever it is they think, they are going to turn up on Election Day. And folks, please don't misunderstand. I'm poking fun a little bit. I was like you for years. I loved going and doing my civic duty on Election Day. I absolutely loved it. I loved the excitement. I loved the community, the camaraderie, all of it. I would go with my family. I would usually go with my in-laws, my wife, whoever. When I had little kids, I would drag them along. In fact, one of my favorite pictures of my daughter is on Election Day 2016. We were at the polling place, and the poll worker, she was like 2 years old. I think she had just turned 2. And she just grabbed a whole ton of I voted stickers and put them all around her body. And it's just all on her clothes. I think she had one on her face. And she had this adorable little smile. And I captioned the photo, "Make America Cute Again." It's still to this day one of my absolute favorite pictures of my daughter. So trust me, I understand the excitement of voting on Election Day. It is outdated thinking. WISN's Mark Belling has a fantastic analogy. He always uses football analogies because, as he says, they always work. In this case, it is about as apropos an analogy as it gets. Packers are playing the Bears. The Bears jump out to a 42-7 lead by the start of the fourth quarter. Who's more likely to win the game? Seriously. Just statistically likely. Who is statistically likelier? Who would be the odds-on favorite with a 42-7 lead heading into the final 15 minutes of the game? It's got to be the Bears, right? Now, what if the Packers say, well, we are so confident in our ability to score points in the fourth quarter, we're not even going to really try in quarters 1 to 3. We're going to let the Bears just score at will. We're not even going to try to answer. We're going to let them get 5, 6 touchdowns. Doesn't matter, because in the fourth quarter, we are so dominant at putting points on the board. Jordan Love, Jaden Reed. Man, we got Josh Jacobs now. We're going to be a scoring machine. Well, what happens if all of a sudden the Bears defense turns it on? A couple of interceptions, unexpected turnovers, that sort of thing, penalties. The game might be close. You might get it to 42-38, but you're not likely to win. Moreover, and this is the biggest reason of all, this is why I conceived of the state's largest early vote drive. This is why I do it so passionately. Because I hate early voting. I despise the idea that we have election month and not election day. Hate it. Federal law sets election day. There is nothing in the statutes that says, okay, let's vote for a month. We are the only Western democracy who does elections this way. In fact, most companies will not allow unionization votes. Very famously, Amazon. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, runs the Washington Post. In 2020, oh man, gotta have mail-in voting. Well, right after the election, guess who tried to unionize? A local Amazon fulfillment center. They wanted to do mail-in ballots. Guess what Jeff Bezos' Amazon.com told them? Nope, can't do mail-in ballots. Why? Because there is way too much potential for fraud. In fact, a bipartisan commission co-chaired by no less a liberal figure than Jimmy Carter in 2005 said the easiest way to steal an election is mail-in balloting. In fact, what we're seeing going on right now in Venezuela, where there was open cheating, is a great example. And that was open cheating. The cheating there is just, the Maduro regime just said, oh yeah, we got 70% of the vote. No, actually, the opposition got about 70% of the vote, and they just didn't count them. What we saw, though, is the opposition getting a big lead over Maduro, and then all of a sudden there were these giant spikes in the Maduro vote. Weird how that works. It's the exact same thing that happened in swing states when all of those absentee ballots were just dumped in, conveniently enough, at 4 a.m. after they told all the observers to go home. There's going to be no more counting. We're just going to have a big pause in the count. I've never heard this before, that you don't work round the clock until all the votes are counted. We're just going to stop and pick it up tomorrow morning. What? Why? You think I don't hate that? I had to stay up until about 5 a.m. covering it the last two presidential election cycles, not to mention the 2018 gubernatorial race that everyone assumed was over, that Scott Walker had won, until the city of Milwaukee said, oh, hey, wait, we haven't counted any of our absentee ballots yet. I hate all of it. That's why we do the state's largest early vote drive, to stop it. Democrats clearly believe that they have a massive advantage. What if all of a sudden they don't? What if all of a sudden Republicans, conservatives, people just like you start early voting en masse? Let's say there is a galvanized movement like the state's largest early vote drive to get you to vote early. Let's say that all of a sudden in the upcoming presidential election, Democrats, in that rare moment of honesty, once they lose, they say, holy cow, Republicans got really good at early voting. Before they blame the Russians, or they blame racism, or they blame sexism, or they blame whatever it is. Maybe we need to go back to same-day voting. Republicans are just getting too good at this. The state where Republicans have gone from about a 50-50 split to an overwhelming majority in the last 6-7 years is Florida. Do you know what voters in Florida, because of the nature of Florida residency, do almost more than any other state? Republicans, I'm saying. They vote early. They vote absentee. They vote by mail. And guess what? Every single statewide Republican in 2022, in what was not a red wave year, even though it was expected to be, won by about 10 points or more. Governor Ron DeSantis, who won by the skin of his teeth in 2018, won by nearly 20 points. It was a butt kicking. Why? Oh, sure, there were more retirees moving to Florida. The state got more red. That wasn't all of it. Florida had a massive turnout in early voting. Florida Republicans banked their votes, and there was just no chance for Democrats to catch them. What happens if Wisconsin turns into Florida? What happens if every one of those voters in the far-flung corners of northern and western Wisconsin get their votes banked? We don't throw caution to the wind, and we don't gamble on whether or not they'll be able to show up on November 5th. Oh, maybe there's a giant snowstorm in Iron County, and you just can't get to the polls. What happens if those ballots have long since been returned, and we have got every single vote already accounted for? I'm not saying Wisconsin can be Florida and deliver these massive Republican margins, but I'll tell you what, we could be far more than a 50-50 state. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will get you some of the results from the state's largest early vote drive. Also, if you want to argue against the wisdom of early voting, phone lines are open.
It was a doozy, all right. Apparently, things got a little out of hand, as evidenced by the job description.
Repair heel marks on conference table.
You get the picture. Office party, a few too many drinks, and a gal who felt compelled to use the top of the conference table as a dance floor. And as you expected, we showed up on site and made that tabletop as good as new. By golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Buying a home should be a joy, but could you imagine doing this without a realtor? Paperwork, inspections, appraisals, deadlines, showings, market research? Or you could relax. Or understanding legal documents, negotiating offers, coordinating inspections, securing finance. Oh, sorry. A realtor can take the stress out of the home buying process. See how at wra.org/a-realtor-can. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Realtors Association.
Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
For anyone living with everyday aches and pains, there's a lot of things you can try. You know, tough it out, bite the bullet, grin and bear it. Or you can try something that has helped so many other people, Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that addresses the inflammation where pain starts. And Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it all day, every day. Wherever you're hurting, your back, neck, joints, or muscles, in about 3 weeks or less, you'll see a difference and rediscover what it's like to feel better and live better. So if everyday pain is affecting your life, don't go with the mind over matter approach. Try Relief Factor instead. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Before you buy an annuity, or worse yet, a variable life insurance policy, give us a chance to tell you both sides of the story.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
Go to financialstrategiesinc.com.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
Seriously, nobody wants to defend refusing to early vote. We had one, but he hung up. I mean, folks, I am not doing this to berate you or belittle you. I want to assuage your concerns. A better way of putting this is, if you have concerns, if you have genuine reasons, and the fear that your vote won't count is, I guess, a genuine reason, even though there is a clear way to verify that your vote is counted. You know, what you actually can do also is you can volunteer to work on Election Day, and then you can actually be one of the people who physically puts the absentee ballots into the machine. That would be my suggestion. People are confusing absentee and early voting. Producer Dave says you're not going to vote absentee if you're voting. Well, technically you are. So it's not, okay, it's not mail-in balloting. You do still have basically the same procedure. You put the ballot into an envelope, a witness signs it, and then it's put into, yes, a drop box, okay? This is where they actually can have ballot drop boxes, all right? They can't have it in the clerk's office because I am physically voting in person. I vote in person just as the statute says. 2 ways to vote. One is by mail, one is in person. Nothing in statutes, nothing in the state constitution, nothing anywhere has anything that authorizes ballot drop boxes just placed randomly around the city. It's like, where's Waldo? Just, there's the ballot drop box. Let's drop off a couple of hundred. Okay, now we do have people, Dave, sort of line up those calls because I do want to assuage concerns. Seriously, I do. I definitely do. The primary objective, by the way, I promised results. State's largest early voting drive. Are we ready? Jason in Waterford voted yesterday. Yes and yes. Early voted after work yesterday in Milwaukee's Zablocki Library. Dan, my wife, and I voted in Verona yesterday. Thanks for the heads up. I early absentee voted yesterday afternoon. Good morning, Dan. I was the #1 voter in Greendale this morning. That's awesome. Hey, Dan, due to your pressure campaign, my father and I voted early in Raymond yesterday, right after your show ended. Berserker Dave voted. The official Photoshop artist of the Dan O'Donnell Show. Love it. My wife and I voted, and the ballots have been received. Thanks for being a true patriot. Dan, if you would like to take part in the state's largest early vote drive, just shoot us a text, 414-799-1130. You can also reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. You can also email me, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. Leave a comment, send me a message. By the way, you can watch the show streaming live via the Dano Cam on X, on Facebook, or on YouTube. Just search for Dan O'Donnell or Dan O'Donnell Show. Early voting just makes sense in order to shut down early voting. I know it sounds like a paradox, but I really feel like I'm on something here. To neutralize Democrats' advantage, they give themselves 2 weeks to vote, knowing full well Republicans will only take 1 day. Liberals will get out every single voter they can find. Then they trust that Republicans will have a mad scramble on Election Day. They've got exactly 12 hours. Oh, my goodness, we've got to get every single voter out. Oh, my gosh, mobilize the vans. Oh, my God. Meanwhile, Democrats have already got hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million votes banked. They don't have to worry about this frantic dash to get all of their votes counted. They've already got their votes counted. Their votes have been in for a week and a half. All right, here we go. Let's go to Craig in Caledonia. You're on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Hey, Dan, my concern is more with the national election coming up and early voting. And I think while I'm an early voter, I have two concerns. One is that if you think the Democrats are ever going to give up on early voting, no way. That's how they get all these extra ballots in that people that aren't alive and people that don't vote, but they fill it out for them. But the other one, it's kind of a scary one. If we get 50% of our votes in for Trump, and he passes away at the end of October. What happens to all our votes?
Craig, I appreciate the macabre thinking,
Yeah,
but it is a
macabre,
concern.
I know.
It is a concern. No, that is, you actually, if the candidate dies, you can actually, because the vote hasn't been counted yet, Craig, what you do is you go to your municipal clerk's office, you ask for your vote, they have to actually go find your ballot, it gets shredded, and you can vote again, especially if he dies within the early voting period. Like, let's say...
Yeah, Robin Voss told me that Saturday night, and I asked him what percentage of the 50% of voters will actually go down again to their municipality and recast the vote.
Okay. I mean, we are, Craig, I think you'll concede that this is a remarkably unlikely scenario, right?
I do.
Okay.
Do.
Like, you're right. I mean, you are right. Like, a smaller percentage will, let's say, the Trump assassination attempt, heaven forbid, was successful and it happened, the Saturday before the election. He's doing a big rally and he's assassinated and half his vote is already banked. I would counter by saying there would be such a massive groundswell of emotion that if that really did happen, you would have pretty close to 100% of the people who cared enough to actually cast their vote already would go down there. It's impossible to say, and admittedly, it is a very, 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 very unlikely scenario, but it is, I guess, a legitimate concern. My counter to that would be, well, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. In fact, if Trump were assassinated or if Kamala Harris were to have a brain aneurysm and die or something like that, then please, as incompetent as the Secret Service is, I'm sure if I'm talking too much about this, there will be an agent at my door regardless. I am talking purely hypothetically. There would be a mechanism then, if a candidate dies that close to the election, that theoretically the election could be delayed. It's something that has never been done in American history, but so too has a candidate never died a week before a presidential election. It's just something that has not happened. And my guess would be that, it would take an act of Congress. There would be such a period of national mourning. There would be such a period of national shock. And obviously the ballots, I don't even know. I don't even know because every single state, remember, runs its elections differently. And I think there would need to be time, by necessity, there would need to be time to sort everything out. Let's just say we would cross that tragic bridge when we would come to it. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, conservative thought, not just talk.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
The U.S. women's gymnastics team is back on top of the world, winning gold in Paris in the team finals. Simone Biles sealed it by nailing her floor routine. Team USA teammate Suni Lee says the crowd support was great.
We were nervous we weren't going to be able to hear our floor music and all of that, but we really just embraced the moment and had fun with it.
Action at the Olympics today includes the U.S. men's basketball team facing South Sudan.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Dan O'Donnell for the Lynch family of dealerships, letting you know about the Lynch tent sales event. Summer has finally arrived, and that means it's time to get your vehicle ready for that annual road trip up north, or maybe you're heading out to your favorite county fair or concert. You can always trust the Lynch Service Department with their convenient hours to get your vehicle safe and ready for the road. But maybe your current ride needs a little more TLC than usual. Maybe it's time to visit the showroom and receive a $2,500 trade assist on top of Kelley Blue Book Fair trade-in value for your current car. It's the Lynch Tent Sales Event all month long with hundreds of vehicles priced aggressively to sell and a $2,500 trade assistance on top of Kelley Blue Book Fair value. The deals are heating up at Lynch. Take that road trip up north in the comfort of a new or Lynch certified car, truck, or SUV. The Lynch Tent Sales Event happening running all month long. Visit a showroom today or visit shoplynch.com.
By the Yard State Fair sale is here. Save 10% and get free shipping on all outdoor furniture and umbrellas when you order by August 12th with promo code CREAMPUFF. Shop By the Yard in the Expo Building, the showroom in Oconomowoc, or bytheyard.net.
Mike Thurston, candidate for Waukesha County DA here. Know what happens when prosecutors
don't have the time to do the cases?
4 separate thugs teamed up to commit armed robbery. They drove to a former friend's home and ordered him into a car at gunpoint. When he refused, another put him in a chokehold. Once in the car, another of these, unprosecuted by my opponent, drug dealers forced him to ingest cocaine at knife point. Then they took him back home and robbed his TV, PlayStation, watch, jewelry, earbuds, even shoes. Waukesha police executed a high-risk traffic stop. All 4 were in possession of drugs, numerous items taken in the armed robbery, and 1 drugs consistent with dealing. Violence, guns, knives, kidnapping, drugs, forced ingestion of cocaine, and robbery? Slam dunk case. My opponent let the statute of limitations expire before she got around to charging them, which meant those cases had to be dismissed. My opponent has a 103 case backlog involving the biggest drug dealers. Not users, dealers.
I don't have the time to do the cases.
When I'm DA, we'll do better. In Waukesha County, you can stem the rise in drug crime, all crime. Vote Mike Thurston, District Attorney, early at your clerk's office or in person August 13th. I'm Mike Thurston. I approve this message paid for by Mike Thurston for DA.
Dan here for CertaPro Painters, which provides excellent workmanship, quality, and a worry-free painting process for both residential and commercial spaces, all at the right price. You can trust them to get the job done right and done safely. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, pro.com. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. I frequently speak with people who are unhappy with their landscaping and they're unsure how to turn things around. Well, here are 4 tasks that will make a remarkable improvement to dull landscaping. Number 1, thick, lush green grass. We need food and water to be healthy. Our lawn care programs and irrigation systems provide your grass with everything it needs to thrive. Number 2, pruning. Regular, technically correct pruning keeps plants strong and vibrant. Number 3, plant bed edging and a fresh layer of bark mulch. There's nothing better than the look of crisp bed edges and fresh mulch. Number 4, landscape lighting. You finally have your landscaping looking its best. A landscape lighting system lets your landscaping come alive after dark. So there you are, 4 landscaping tips that amplify the beauty of your home. Please call Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Stop what you're doing and listen to this. Your God-given freedoms are up for the taking, and those doing the taking are the same people who've sworn to defend your freedom. They think they can control the media, hide the truth, and force their delusions onto your family. You know what they can't take away? Self-reliance, peace of mind. Got water filtration? You should. A charged solar generator? You better. Emergency food on your shelf? Get it now from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the most trusted name in survival, and for damn good reason, too. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and save $200 on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. It delivers over 2,000 calories per day, plus sealed inside practically unpierceable packaging. It lasts up to 25 years. Oh, and did I mention it's delicious? Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save $200 per kit. Includes fast and free shipping. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Renovate your home with Abbey Windows, a local company that put money back into our economy. Dan O'Donnell here, and Abbey Windows is a window replacement and exterior remodeling company that has the same goal for America that you do. One that's fiscally responsible. Schedule your free estimate today at abbeywindows.com. That's abbeywindows.com. Abbey Windows. When someone asks if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Folks, I get it. It's tradition. There's a whole lot of mistrust in the way elections are run here in Wisconsin. There are just too many arguments, too many good ones in favor of early voting, in favor of evening the playing field, in favor of banking as many votes as humanly possible. Remember, what do I always talk about? You have always got to get out of the Democrats' fraud margin. Figure about 1 to 2% of votes are just sort of manufactured out of thin air. I think we know exactly how the scam works. What they do is they put ballot harvesters into the field. They've clearly been doing this since 2012, where the era of big data has allowed Democrats and all of these various 501c3 groups, which of course have nothing to do with partisan politics. They just want to get people out to vote. What they do is they have ballots requested to people. They're usually older. They're usually invalids. They are usually immigrants. They are in the inner city. And then the person just waits. They have so many of these paid operatives that they just wait outside for the ballot to arrive. They know when the ballot is likely to reach the mailbox. And then they actually bring in the ballot. And they say, "Excuse me, Auntie, excuse me, Grandma, I noticed this ballot just arrived for you. Would you like some help filling it out?" Technically, the person did fill it out, but with heavy pressure from a paid operative. It is the same thing on college campuses. They go and they will be at your dorm room door every hour until you vote, because they know the vast majority of college kids, at least the shrill college female libs, and of course the soy boy beta college male libs, will be voting Democrat. This is how it works. You have a certain percentage of the vote that Democrats can just manufacture. If you, with your legitimate Republican votes, fall into that fraud margin, you're going to lose. You need to, therefore, flood the zone. As Trump has been saying, make it too big to rig. Make the margin so big that there's no way they can just manufacture the ballots or use their artificial turnout machine in order to get within that fraud margin. There's just none. There are limits to the amount of cheating that can be done. There is a finite amount that can be done. And as for this idea that, well, they're just going to know how many votes they need to do on election night, we're just telling them how many votes we need to put in. Okay, well, haven't they been telling us for a decade now how many votes we need to turn out on election day? Seems to me that Republicans haven't been able to just turn out magically the exact number of votes to win, because, again, we are putting all of our eggs in the election day basket. There is also, because of the rise of big data, and because you can actually see and you can commit resources to seeing who has returned who has requested an absentee ballot, who has returned their absentee ballot. There is now a cost associated. There always has been a cost associated with getting you to vote. But now, because of micro-targeting and the ability to target literally you, John in St. Francis, listening to me at your office. Now watch, there's going to be a guy who's named John in St. Francis. He's like, dude, you were talking to me, man. Let's assume he showed up to work stoned today. What do you think? Dude, the radio is talking directly to me. Sorry, John, I'm sure you're a straight-laced, very good employee. But you're listening to me right now. There is a cost associated for the Trump campaign, for the Republican Party, to get you to vote. Once you have voted, and the data shows you have voted, we have ascertained you are a Republican vote, there is no more effort that is spent getting specifically you to vote. No more mailings go out to you. No more phone calls go out to you. Now, sure, sometimes the data is a little slow. So, yes, you probably say, well, I early voted, Dan, and they still called me. Yes, sometimes that does happen. You can get rid of the texts. I promise you the texts will stop. You will stop getting texts from Donald Trump Jr. himself reminding you to vote. Okay, I promise you that. Don Jr., I don't know how you got my number, but stop. Tell Eric to stop texting me too. Ivanka can absolutely text me anytime she wants. Tiffany Trump, too, who is an underrated, very, very good-looking young woman. All right, now that I have perved on all of the Trump children, we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we name the unhinged liberal of the day. Stay tuned.
Conservative thought, not just talk. The Dan O'Donnell Show will be right back.
Dan O'Donnell here for my awesome friends at Built Right Furniture. Built Right's July sale and clearance mattress sale ends Saturday. Shop the most unique selection of mattresses with over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best brands made in the USA, including Heirloom, Restonic, Therapeutic, Schiffman, and more. Built Right always saves you money. Don't make a mistake by ordering online or from an employee-free store. Built Right makes it easy, and with their legitimate sale prices, you'll get an exceptional value and a great night's sleep, as I do on my Built Right Heirloom mattress. They do the research for you. Their team will take the time to help fit you. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Shop Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. As always, Built Right is closed Sunday to be with family. Tell them Dan O'Donnell sent you to Built Right, easily located at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns. Hot summer night. Lightning strike. Down goes the tree, right through their bedroom wall, nearly ruining a walnut headboard, which is pretty hard wood. Fortunately, the customers were okay. But the headboard? That wasn't. Until they called us. We made that Victorian headboard better than new. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing, repair, and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY Finishing.com.
This is Mike and Jim from Brillo Home Improvements. It's the nature of the beast. I mean, you want every project to go smoothly. Who doesn't? But the reality is, especially with big remodels, that's not always the case, because you never know what's going on behind those walls until you open them up.
Well, fortunately for us, the experience is there, so we aren't really surprised by surprises.
After this long, you kind of expect them. And when you can embrace that, things tend to smooth out quicker than you think.
So when you have a big remodel in mind, the crews you'll find at Brillo are the kind of folks you'll want on the job.
Seasoned and rock solid. The first trip for us was a long time ago.
And when you have that kind of experience on your side, all's well that ends well.
And that means you'll end up with a project that hits the bullseye.
For NARI award-winning home remodeling,
and about as down-to-earth of an approach as you're going to find,
go to BrilloHomeImprovements.com.
And let's take that first step.
Transforming your dreams into reality. Brillo, Brillo, Brillo.
Hey guys. Whoa.
Hey Jason.
What is that? Laura opened a portal. I said no portals. We have same-day service calls to run.
That's what this is for.
We can send our technician through here.
Right to the doorstep of our customers' homes.
Guys, we already do same-day service 7 days a week. Yes. If your air conditioner breaks today, we come fix it today.
That is pretty fast.
That is. Our same-day service 7 days a week is us opening a portal for our customers. And creating a rift in
time and space. Yeah.
Practically. Everything we do is for the good of our customer.
Capital cares.
Capital cares. I mean, the portal idea is pretty cool, though.
Maybe we could do something else with it.
Let's close it. I appreciate you all caring so much about Capital customers. We can't close it yet. Why not?
How'd the job go, Merle?
I should have guessed.
Capital repairs your air conditioner same day, 7 days a week. Call us or go online at callcapitalcares.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Blue Mountain Express.
This is Rick Vanderboom with Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage, and we'll improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage, statewide.
Conservative thought, not just talk. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Boy, a lot of stuff to get to. I didn't think it would take nearly this long to explain why we do the state's largest early vote drive, but it is important as anything we do here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We're going to have a jam-packed 10 o'clock hour, and I'm thinking because of that, we may unfortunately have to push Guess What's Racist to tomorrow. The leader of Hamas and the number 2 guy in Hezbollah are dead. The left is trying to convince us that Israel is going to start World War III. Last time there was a massive attack on Iran, and you'll notice that this is how wars are fought now, with these precision strikes and targeted assassinations of terror leaders and opposition forces. Remember, the left was saying the exact same thing when Trump used a drone to take out Qasem Soleimani, the top general of Iran, and Iran's response was, well, impotent at best. We'll get to that, plus Kamala Harris rallies in Atlanta, and some bad news about the Democrat sugar high, courtesy of Nate Silver, with an actually honest projection of where the race stands. Before we get to all of that, we name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
Possibly.
America is over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is Molly Zhang Fast. The noted Nepo baby / liberal commentator was on MSNBC ripping, and I mean ripping, J.D. Vance, saying the reason that he's taken on the childless cat ladies is that he only wants white children to be born in America. Wait, what?
What's interesting is this natalism that comes from an authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea, that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism, right? This is what this is. So don't misunderstand it for him wanting more children. He wants a certain kind of, racist thing.
So there's kind of a big problem with that logic. J.D. Vance has mixed race children. His wife is Indian American. Molly Zhang Fast, after having that pointed out to her about 5 million times, locked her X account. She is your unhinged liberal of the day. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. Milwaukee County leaders don't know how they're going to close their $19 million deficit. County board last week went over the numbers and say the county's losing money. The biggest money loser is the sheriff's office. Officials there say their staffing shortage is forcing them to add overtime in both the county jail and the court system. Only hiring more guards and deputies will solve that problem. Milwaukee County just raised its sales tax at the beginning of the year, but supervisors say people are buying less, so that tax isn't bringing in as much as expected. Concerning new data from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction shows high school students are confronting a mental health crisis. State Superintendent Jill Underly said schools must provide better resources for students.
We need to increase mental health services and resources in our schools. We must continue integrating mental wellness into our educational systems, working together to create a culture of understanding and empathy.
According to DPI's latest Youth Risk Behavior Survey, 59% of high school students say that they've experienced at least one mental health challenge over the past 12 months. The political chief of Hamas was killed early this morning. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps confirmed that Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in Tehran after he attended the inauguration ceremony for Iran's president. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard, the Brewers and Atlanta Braves play the rubber game of their series later on today at American Family Field. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Tad Aylin on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Dan O'Donnell here for the incredible team at Mander Collision and Glass, now with 6 locations to serve you. And you hear me talk about my great experiences with Mander all the time. Here's David. I had a chip in my windshield of my 2009 Chevy Malibu repaired today. Scheduling was a breeze. Staff was great. I was in and out in under half an hour. That's the Mander difference for you. Quick, professional work with customer service that's second to none. They treat you as a valued member of the family and not just a number like some of the big national chains. It's service that you can only get with a third-generation family business, and that's why I've been using Mander Collision and Glass for so many years, and so many listeners are now discovering and have discovered the Mander difference too. You can check them out at any one of their great locations, Cedarburg, Brookfield, Heartland, Milwaukee, Muskego, or Waukesha, and start your repair today at mandercollision.com.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Another hot and humid day today with a high near 90 and a dew point near 72. Definitely do what you can to take it easy today. Chance for rain and thunderstorms today. Better chance tomorrow, possibly severe. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed. Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hassleus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hassleus Mattress.
Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassleus.com.
Can a reduced commission get you effective marketing and great service when selling your home? Absolutely. This is Paul Leby from Lake Country Flat Fee. Did you know there's one main marketing platform for the entire real estate industry? It's super effective, and our group of realtors are some of the most experienced in all of southeastern Wisconsin. Our services will save you about 50% versus a traditional 6% broker. To learn more or to schedule a free market analysis, visit our website at lakecountryflatfee.com.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, host of the Designer Yard Show and owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Do you love your landscaping? Do you appreciate the perfect blend of plants, stone, and wood that embraces your home? Do you delight in sitting on your patio with a cool drink, taking in the beauty of your backyard? If you answer yes, then we have a lot in common. Now, one more question. Does all of this beauty disappear when the sun goes down? Since 1994, the experts at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services have been creating beautiful landscaping that can and should be enjoyed even after dark. If the beauty and pleasure of your landscaping disappears when the sun goes down, you should consider a fully automatic landscape lighting system. The experts at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services are gifted at creating deliciously soft, subtle nighttime scenes. To schedule a meeting with one of our lighting designers, please call 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality of joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Smart speakers get a whole lot smarter when they're playing News Talk 1130 WISN. Just ask Alexa or Siri to play WISN Radio and bask in the glow of insight and enlightenment.
Conservative thought, not just talk. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Second hour underway. So too is the second day of the state's largest early vote drive. We want as many conservatives as possible, including all of you in Voss Recall 2 moronic boogaloo. I am convinced I can penetrate even the thickest of skulls and get as many conservatives banking their votes as humanly possible. The good news is, by my count, I actually spent much of the news break counting up votes. I lost track at about 157. Yeah, there's no, look, we were at this point during the spring election, we were probably at 300-400. The fact that there is only one thing statewide on the ballot, and that is the 2 referendum questions, and we will get into some of the specific reasons as to why you need to vote yes and yes on that. And remember, this is just me counting up the text. I also have a whole ton of emails. I've got Facebook. I just opened up my Facebook inbox, and man, I need to check that thing more often because it is absolutely full. A lot of people on X responding. Here are some of the best responses to our state's largest early vote drive. Remember, early vote, contact me when you do, and then you get other people in your life. Shoot them a text, give them a call, say, hey, I'll take you out to lunch. Let's go early vote. Let's play a quick 9 at, Brown Deer Golf Course or something. Hey, there's a polling place right on the way. Why don't we stop and early vote? Dan, I early voted yesterday. I'm also going to volunteer at the polls. My wife and I voted this morning at 8:30 a.m. Hey, Dan, I'm on my way to early vote at Franklin City Hall soon. Remember, everyone, vote yes on the 2 questions. Thank you, loyal listener Jeremy in Franklin. Thank you for that, Jeremy. Dan, dropped my ballot off last week at the Erin Town Hall and mailed my wife's yes, 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 yes. Hi, Dan. My daughter and I early voted in River Falls today. This morning, I talked to a neighbor as I was walking the dog, and he didn't even know there was an election. He was going to call some friends and go vote, and then he and his wife were headed to River Falls City Hall to go vote. That is exactly what I want to accomplish. A lot of people, believe it or not, folks, in your sphere of influence have absolutely no idea there's an election August 13th. They also are likely to be on vacation. The middle of August is quite possibly the most popular time of the entire year to take vacations. For those of us who have kids in about 1 million different activities, back to school is either late August or right after Labor Day. The sports start up, the fall sports, the soccers, the footballs, the volleyballs, they all start. Baseball is, for most kids, done for the year. You've got that small little window where there are no activities and people go out of town. Tell your friends that there is an election. It is important. You want to take away Governor Evers' slush fund by voting yes. Think about it this way. Think about the questions. As you know, they're confusing. The ballot language is, I understand, not exactly straightforward. It's legalese. Think about the question like this. Should we stop Governor Evers' personal COVID slush fund? There's still $1.8 billion. Should we stop him from just sort of being able to wave his magic wand and spend it however he likes, especially ahead of an election year, to try to buy people's loyalty and with it their votes? Yes. And yes. Andrew from Fort Atkinson just filled out my ballot and voted in-person absentee for the sole purpose that I am closing on a house in Janesville, and I would prefer not to forget to vote in the frantic dash of moving, getting married this week, and the looming threat of an unexpected work trip within these next 2 weeks. Thank you for all you do in being a part of my teenage young adult radio experience. Andrew, I can't tell you how much that means. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding, on the new house, on the move. It is an incredible time in your life. And you're right. You're right. If you've got that much going on, I am in the process of moving right now or building a house. I am technically homeless, and it's just easier. You find some time during a 2-week window as opposed to 1 day. The state's largest early vote drive is open. 414-799-1130 is our AdventNews.com talk and text line. You can also reach me toll-free via talk or via text on the toll-free talk and text line, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. Vice President Kamala Harris held her big rally in Atlanta, and MAGA must be terrified. Absolutely terrified, because thousands of people crammed, and I mean crammed, an arena to see Kamala Harris and nobody else. No popular rappers were performing at all during this concert. Of course, she had to have celebrity help. This is what liberals do. This does not take away, though, the fact that the Democrats' artificial boost campaign for Kamala Harris is, to some extent, working. Think about it this way, though, to get a sense of just how astroturfed all of this is. What has Kamala done or said since getting in the race to suddenly change people's perceptions of her? What did she do? Nothing. She's not Joe Biden. That's pretty much it. So what this is essentially what you're seeing, the boost in the polls, is essentially Democrat relief. Democrats, although they would likely never say it, were dejected. They were convinced that there was no chance they were going to win. They were going to lose the Senate. They were going to lose the House. They were going to lose everything. Down ballot, up ballot, sideways ballot, everywhere they were going to lose. Joe Biden was going to be an anchor, and they were all riding straight down to the bottom of the sea. Kamala Harris represents a lifeboat, an incredibly leaky one, but a lifeboat nonetheless. Don't you think it's odd that in the, 10, 11 days since Kamala was anointed, and folks, she was absolutely anointed. Remember the open and transparent process that the chairman of the Democrat Party, Jamie Harrison, promised to replace Biden as the nominee? There was nothing that was transparent. all of a sudden, within a matter of hours, I mean by the end of the day, Sunday, July 21st, when Biden dropped out, all 50 state party chairs, including Wisconsin's own Ben Wickler, the man who just looked like he burped a second ago. I'm telling you, look at the man's face. I cannot unsee it. He always looks, no matter where I see him. I happen to catch him on the White Dudes for Kamala. Ben Wickler, would you care to explain why you were on a whites-only Zoom call? Please, you were a featured guest where black people were not allowed. It was white dudes only. Why are you in favor of racial segregationism? But seriously, look at his face. He always looks like he just cut a massive belch. It's this like simultaneous look of self-satisfaction, relief, and holy crap, I just did a huge belch. You know, we've all done a huge belch. It's just how you look. He just has that face where it always looks like he just belched. I'm sorry. This is a very serious observation from a very serious talk show host. I'm complimentary of Ben all the time. In fact, I think he is by far the best Democratic Party chairman this state has ever had. I mean, he is incredibly good at what he does. He just happens to always look like he just belched. Like he just reunited the cast of Hee Haw for a Zoom call to elect Joe Biden in 2020. He celebrated with a root beer, and then he had a burp that registered on the Richter scale. And he's filmed or he's photographed right after he unsheathed that monster. All right. So Kamala is in Atlanta, and she's there with Megan Thee Stallion, who is a very, very popular rapper, right? Obviously, pretty much everybody was there for Megan Thee Stallion. People started walking out during Kamala's speech. It happens. Don't underestimate, though. She does have a lot of support in Atlanta. But I noticed something very interesting. Because I have been studying the way Kamala Harris speaks and cackles for years. And she spoke very differently while talking to a primarily Southern African-American audience in Atlanta last night.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will.
I mean, did she suddenly just stop pronouncing the R's at the end of 4? This reminded me of one thing. Instantly, my mind was taken back. Yes, this is absolutely Hillary Clinton Part 2.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely hysterical. I can't. That is one of in nearly 4 decades stretch of classic Hillary Clinton bangers. That might be the other. Just listen to this. Listen to Kamala doing the stereotypical black accent and Hillary doing it back to back.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. I don't feel no ways tired.
I'm telling you, it is the exact same thing. She is Hillary Clinton Part 2, somehow a little more off-putting and less charismatic. Now, despite the sugar high of Kamala being not Biden and suddenly appealing to everyone everywhere, she still does sort of face a big problem. Not one person can name a single one of her positive accomplishments. Hear this, a man on the street series of interviews from the National Report.
Can you name a few of her accomplishments?
No, I can't.
What are some of her accomplishments?
I will say that everything that I've seen, I don't think that, She has none. No. I honestly don't think she has any. The 4 years that she was in office as vice president, I didn't hear her speak once until like last week. So that's kind of my take on it.
Now, You have to take those with a little bit of a grain of salt. That was 4 people speaking. One young lady just went totally silent. And you have no idea if these are Trump supporters, hardcore Trumpers, her political opponents, whoever they are. But this does sort of get to a slightly bigger problem for Kamala, is that she doesn't have a record of success. She has a record of doing things and saying things that the overwhelming majority of people don't agree with. Now, she has tried her level best to distance herself from pretty much everything she said before July 21st. It's sort of remarkable that she's just being allowed to say, yeah, no, I don't believe that anymore. Should we import 20 million illegals? No, more border security. Kamala, you called for reparation. No. I'm a moderate now. There's a brand new election model that is taking into account multiple polls by no less an expert than Nate Silver. Now, Nate Silver was until very recently the left's fair-haired child because he correctly predicted Obama's win in 2012 when Democrats were absolutely panicking because the daily tracking from Gallup, presidential tracking poll, showed Mitt Romney up 7 about a week and a half before Election Day 2012. Silver was saying, don't worry. My model takes into account all polling, not this one. In fact, Silver was right. He predicted every single state with 100% accuracy. We learned later that the Obama campaign was sharing internal polls with him, which is a big reason why internal polls tend to be far more accurate than the ones, because they're being done on a rolling average constantly. And it's just like presidential campaigns poll every single day. There are people in the field. They are doing polling every single day on dozens of questions, right? But Silver has been pretty good and pretty even-handed in his analysis of electoral politics. He, I believe, is a little perturbed. He is a liberal. He is a Democrat. But he's one of these Bill Maher types who is a little perturbed by the woke authoritarian bent of the modern neo-progressive socialist Democrat Party. His new model, which showed that there was almost no chance Trump was going to lose when Biden was the candidate, now shows, even amid the biggest campaign bump any candidate has gotten in modern history, Kamala Harris's sugar high, Trump is still a 61% favorite to win the presidency. How exactly does this work? 61.3% to 38.1% for Kamala Harris. Harris is only projected, under Silver's model, to win the popular vote by 0.6%. If that happens, if she only wins the popular vote by less than 1%, Trump is likely to sweep at least 2 of the 3 upper Midwestern states. I would posit probably all 3, and win with close to 300 electoral votes. The projected electoral vote score that Silver has is 280 to 257. Silver is not existing in a vacuum here. Other projection models still have Trump at about a 62 to 63% favorite to win the presidency. Now, I always say when trying to prognosticate, you want to use as much data as possible because it is impossible to predict the future. One poll can feature a higher than usual Republican sample or Democrat sample. And in fact, I am in the process of looking through all of the polls, the exact same poll done before Biden dropped out and after Biden dropped out, to see just how much they're oversampling Democrats, because I am convinced a good number of these polls are essentially push polls. They're being done in order to convince Democrat donors, the big fish billionaire tech bros, the George Soros types, who have been told, they have been beaten over the head with this idea that Trump is going to win, Trump is going to win, Trump is going to win. It is not a show of strength to replace your candidate 100 days before the election, okay? It is not, it doesn't fill people who actually know how elections work with a whole lot of confidence that a historically unpopular vice president who is fielding questions about whether she would drop out of the race, whether she would still be Biden's running mate, as early as this past January, it doesn't fill them with a lot of she's the savior. Okay. So they need some data before they commit tens of millions of dollars to her campaign. They want to know it's a wise investment. I am convinced a good number of these public polls are designed to, because think about it, all of the media is focusing on two major narratives. One, Kamala Harris is unbeatable. Kamala Harris is the country's messiah, and two, Trump and Vance are weird. Have you noticed they've essentially abandoned the dictator stuff? The director of Project 2025 resigned, the Heritage Foundation white paper. Just that, so they can no longer fearmonger over Project 2025. Let me tell you, folks, on balance, I would take Project 2025 over Project Let's Destroy the Economy and Let 10 million illegals into the country over the past 4 years every single day of the week. But even amidst all of this, so I'm looking to see if some of the polls are just oversampling Democrats to get Kamala to somewhere even with Trump, when all of the polls in hypothetical matchups before Biden dropped out, and I'm talking days before, showed Trump beating her by a similar margin as he was beating Biden. Now, of course, the Democrat base was dispirited. You might get fewer votes going to Robert Kennedy Jr. or to Jill Stein. But I don't think the fundamentals of this race have changed all that much, and neither do a whole lot of the prognosticators. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will dive into Israel's attack on Hamas's leader next.
Hey guys. Whoa.
Hey Jason.
What is that?
Laura opened a portal.
I said no portals. We have same-day service calls to run.
That's what this is for.
We can send our technician through here.
Right to the doorstep of our customers' homes.
Guys, we already do same-day service 7 days a week.
Yes.
If your air conditioner breaks today, we come fix it today.
That is pretty fast.
That is.
Our same-day service 7 days a week is us opening a portal for our customers.
And creating a rift in.
I'm in space. Yeah.
Practically. Everything we do is for the good of our customer.
Capital cares.
Capital cares. I mean, the portal idea is pretty cool, though.
Maybe we could do something else with it.
Let's close it. I appreciate you all caring so much about Capital customers.
We can't close it yet.
Why not?
How'd the job go, Merle?
I should have guessed.
Capital repairs your air conditioner same day, 7 days a week. Call us or go online at callcapitalcares.com.
Save 10% and get free shipping on By the Yard's maintenance-free outdoor furniture and umbrellas during their State Fair sale with promo code CREAMPUFF. Order by August 12th from the fair, their showroom in Oconomowoc, or bytheyard.net.
Most states require their legislature and governor to work together to spend federal dollars. Not Wisconsin. Governor Evers spent billions of your hard-earned tax dollars with zero checks and balances. After 4 years of backroom deals and millions lost to fraud, it's time to restore accountability to Evers' out-of-control spending. You can help fix it. It's as easy as voting yes on August 13th to ballot questions 1 and 2, paid for by IRG Action Fund and the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word secure to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text secure to 989898. That's secure to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Here's why. Money. Warshevsky.
Show, just going through trying to count up some more responses to the state's largest early vote drive. We have got now hundreds of people taking part, answering the call, doing their civic duty, trying to build up a bank of votes that is impossible to overcome. The final vote is August 13th. It's the partisan primary. And there are a couple of huge ballot questions on the ballot, couple of constitutional amendments, referenda, if you will. These are binding referenda. The Wisconsin Constitution would be immediately amended. Think of it like this. Should we stop Governor Evers' personal slush fund? Both of those questions are asking the exact same thing. Should we stop Evers' slush fund? Yes and yes. Ismail Haniyeh assassinated in Iran after he attended the inauguration of Iran's new president. You might remember the previous president of Iran a couple of months ago died in a helicopter crash that was initially feared to be the work of Israeli assassins, but was just an accident. They took off in poor weather conditions in a wooded area, and it was an accident. Now, so far, I don't believe that Israel has officially taken responsibility for this hit. However, in the exact same day, they took out a top-ranking leader of Hezbollah, which has also been launching rockets at Israel and has already blamed Israel. What this was a show of strength by the Israeli Defense Forces and an attempt to intimidate Hamas and the enemies of Israel, who have, in the past year, launched the deadliest terror attack in Israeli history, the single biggest slaughter of Jewish people since the Holocaust, and have upped their attacks to up their threats to attack Israel and to essentially end it. As of 45 minutes ago, Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz sent a letter to dozens of foreign ministries around the world saying the country is not interested in an all-out war, but the only way to prevent it is the immediate implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701. That resolution calls for the immediate cessation of hostilities along the Israel-Lebanon border and a demilitarized zone. This is exactly what's needed. A strong, enforced border. And, let's face it, a Palestinian territories, a Lebanon, and Iran, and a rest of the Muslim world who recognize Israel's right to exist. Now, Israel has taken credit for the top commander of Hezbollah's untimely demise, saying, Israel sent a clear message, we will harm with great force whoever harms us. Is there going to be all-out war? Is there going to be a third world war, as now the left is fear-mongering? I would very, very strongly doubt that. The last time we saw this was the last time Israel killed a top Iranian commander. The last time we saw this level of fear-mongering was early January 2020, when the left was terrified that Trump was going to win on the strength of peace and prosperity a second term. People forget, before the COVID-19 pandemic, before liberals crashed the economy by demanding that all businesses and schools closed, refusing to reopen pretty much anything until well after Trump left office, Trump was cruising to re-election. There was almost greater panic in January and February of 2020 as Bernie Sanders was racking up win after win in the primaries and caucuses that Democrats were going to lose than the panic after the debate on June 27th. I mean, Democrats were openly panicked that Trump was going to win. Trump responded to the downing of a $1 billion American drone by using a drone to kill Qasem Soleimani, the top Iranian commander. Iran has already demonstrated that its air defense system is incredibly weak, that Israel can essentially penetrate it at will. How do you suppose the supreme leader slept last night? This also, seeing as there are now fears of nuclear war, raises the very serious issue of the Obama administration and then the Biden administration restarting or allowing Iran to restart, unfreezing assets. Oh, yes, just for humanitarian aid, allowing it to restart its nuclear program for peaceful purposes only. Of course. In other words, resurrecting the Iran nuclear deal that Trump got out of. As of a couple of weeks ago, there were top nuclear inspectors who said Iran was perhaps weeks away from being able to arm a nuclear warhead. Does that make anybody feel better right now? A nuclear-armed Iran. But the reality is, as Iran has shown in the past, and as these terror armies like Hezbollah and Fatah and Hamas have proven, is they're essentially scared. They don't have a whole lot of military operational might, especially Hamas, which has been decimated in the 10 months since their terror attack. That was the high watermark. Interestingly enough, this top commander of Hamas was seen on October 7th. There's a video circulating. I've tweeted it. Him celebrating the slaughter of innocent people on October 7th, praying to Allah in thanksgiving for the slaughter of innocent Jewish children. Well, he's now a smoldering crater. Ain't karma a son of a gun? Will there be all-out war? I would very strongly doubt it, primarily because Israel's enemies simply can't match its technological and operational capabilities, and they know it. What yesterday's strikes were was a reminder of that simple fact. Dan O'Donnell Show coming back.
Radio Olympics update.
Team USA has made another addition to its medal count. Horace Benegas grabbing that silver in the women's BMX freestyle park final today. It's the 27th medal for the U.S. so far in these Paris Games.
Benegas of the USA takes silver, and Natalia Deem of Australia finishes in bronze.
In the men's park final, Marcus Christopher just missed a medal, finishing fourth.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center. For the first time ever, Lynch Truck Center is having a massive construction sale on over 400 in-stock trucks, which include Chevrolet, GMC, Hino, and Isuzu. You will not want to miss it. We're adding parking, 7 more truck bays, and expanded parts storage, so we can better serve you, our customer. Did you know our experienced sales staff sold more Chevrolet medium-duty trucks and cab-overs than all the other dealers in the state combined? With their knowledge on upfits, combined with our service department, we deliver turnkey vehicles for your business. including the right body for your application, bin packages, and even lettered when it's delivered right to your door. As a business owner, has managing your fleet grown into a full-time job? Our fleet department can help. We provide a free fleet analysis which guides you when to trade, help track expenses for maintenance, fuel, and even vehicle tracking. You'll be shocked on the money and time you can save, not to mention having new vehicles under warranty. Visit lynchtruckcenter.com and give us a shot. We won't disappoint you.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Business owners, when the time comes to sell your business, experience matters. Lake Country Advisors is your local award-winning M&A firm, and we're right here in Wisconsin. So to sell your business the right way, schedule a free consultation by visiting lakecountryadvisors.com.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, and I'm so proud to be a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, a Christian, and an American. My wife Amy and I did our best to educate our children about our reasons for embracing traditional values. Recently, Amy and I became empty nesters, and now our young adults are in the real world with the American dream in their heads, their hearts, and soon it will be in their hands to share with others. God is good. Marriage and children are a blessing. Capitalism works, and America is grand. She is rich with beautiful places to explore. She's a melting pot of beautiful people. Diverse? Yes. But we are still blessed to have so much in common. Ignore the politicians and the media who sow seeds of hate. Let's embrace the wonders of life, liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness in America. Join me in discovering the wonders of nature and the wonders of America.
Grow your business regulation compliant and efficiently. InSource, the benefits companies. Connect and simplify.com.
Grow your business. Hire iNet for increased new business with creative genius inspired web, radio, design, all marketing. CreativeGeniusMarketing.com.
Now's a great time to get signed up for your exterior work, like siding and windows. Why put it off? The lines are shorter, and we'll be ready to take on your next project.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi!
Tired of neighbors hounding you or whatever kind of dog they have? Fence Finders has countless options, from simple chain link separation to beautiful architectural art fences to view blocking, sound deflecting privacy fences. Enjoy neighbors enjoying their property. MilwaukeeFenceFinders.com.
Infinity's app shows precise costs of your new roof, providing peace of mind.
Infinity costs less, and the price we quote is surprise-free.
Because we pay less, you pay less. Warranted, guaranteed quality.
Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Tired of feeling like you're in a fishbowl every time you hit the road? It's time to tint your windows. Tinting your windows will not only block harmful UV rays, but also reduces glare and keeps your car cooler on those scorching summer days. We offer a lifetime warranty on film and installation. Charisma offers a color-stable film that makes your vehicle look great, and a ceramic film that blocks 99% of UV rays and 85% of sun's heat. Ceramic window film is the best you can get and keeps you cool in blistering summer heat. 262-444-2525. CharismaCustoms.com.
It's Window Nation's anniversary sale. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months and get an extra $250 credit. Schedule your estimate now. 866-90-NATION or find them online at windownation.com.
Are you ready to celebrate the warmer weather? Then check out the Sawmill Restaurant and Pub in Richfield. Their home-style meals are worthy of any celebration. Just take the Holy Hill exit from 41, turn west, and then turn right on Wolf Road. It's just after the railroad track. It's a great place to share with friends at any time.
Market volatility, global issues, inflation, still. More than a few headwinds this year. That's probably why Americans feel uncertain about their financial futures. Boomers, not much room for error. Gen X might need more than a 401k. And for millennials, it's time to get real about saving and investing. Talk to Annex Wealth Management. Build security with a partner on your side for unbiased advice. You may need more than investments. That's why Annex delivers tax and estate planning. There's an Annex plan personalized for you. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran into a gap in your air ducts, made a nest, pooped, and died. Breathe easy after Clean Living Environments cleans your air ducts, will seal air in and mice out. Get more out of your ducks, cleanlivingenvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your roof.
Statewide. We report, you decide. Factual, fair, and balanced coverage. Your exclusive home of Fox News Radio. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Welcome back to it. Oh, we've still got some audio sound bites to get to. We should have... Oh, here we go. This is too good. This is too good. All week, Democrats have been pushing the line that J.D. Vance is weird. Trump and Vance are just weird. Like that time they openly bragged about being the first attorney general in the entire country to force taxpayers to pay for transgender surgery for prison inmates.
When I was attorney general, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
Right, a client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, right. Of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
So, you know how Wisconsin is forced, you are forced as a Wisconsin taxpayer to pay for gender reassignment surgery so that pervos can get sent to the women's prison and then do all sorts of raping? You've got Kamala to thank. Totally normal. She, by the way, of course, was talking to a transgender woman who, honest to goodness, looked to be about the size of Shaquille O'Neal. This was the biggest transgender woman I have ever seen. You know, I really haven't been doing a whole lot of Olympic updates this week. I don't know. No. Yeah, iHeart does like every hour on the hour. We've got an Olympic update. The International Olympic Committee allowing biological males to box women? Come on. Do we have absolutely no standards whatsoever? Fortunately, actual women from the United States did take home the gold. Very, very cool. Simone Biles, now the most decorated Olympic gymnast, American Olympic gymnast ever. She leads Team USA to the all-around gold medal. It was very cool to watch. I admit I only watched the highlights early this morning. We had the Game of Thrones show to finish up and get caught up on last night. Ladies and gentlemen, what we also haven't done in a while, but folks, we have good reason to, is give you the most intelligent response Dan has heard all day. This comes to us via the AdventNews.com talk and text line. Very rational man named Lyndon. Here's what he writes. Masking opinion as news. Bull bleep. Freedom of speech is all you have. All caps. Nothing else. Stop spewing opinions of hate based on lies. You are a turd-stirring twerp. We're not exactly sure. I believe it was turd-stirring, but in his rage, he misspelled stirring. Turd-stirring is apparently one word. I don't know how exactly you stir a turd, but apparently I am one who does so, and I'm not physically very big. Hence, turd-stirring twerp. He continues. Freedom of speech, not freedom to lie. Follow-up text. And he ends with this. Simply, turd-stirring twerp. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the most intelligent response Dan has received all day. Here for my awesome friends at Built-Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattresses. Built-Right's July sale and clearance, including in-stock and special orders, ends Saturday. Shop where the O'Donnell family shops now more than ever. It's the time to support Built-Right, a local and family-owned business for 4 generations and 96 years strong. Built-Right has the best selection and team in town. Save on affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses. Here in Wisconsin, their 45,000 square foot showroom has thousands of items in stock plus 500 mattresses. Special and custom orders are faster, plus check out their clearance and outlet center inside their showroom. You'll get the lowest prices on quality brands like Smith Brothers, Elran, Heirloom, and Therapeutic. Built-Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop, open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. You gotta get to Built-Right and tell them Dan O'Donnell sent you to 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
The following takes place outside of the Capitol Heating, Cooling, and Electric headquarters.
I don't know, but Mama said you're inhaling particulates. If you don't clean out your ducts, you will be fresh out of luck. And air, clean air, healthy air.
Jason, what is happening?
Merle's really whipping the crew into shape.
You know he's a squirrel, right?
Seth, people throughout history have respected leaders of all kinds.
Like Squirrel Alexander the Great.
You know, I think you're underestimating him.
Really?
Watch.
Capitol cleans your ducts with high-powered trucks.
Because Capitol believes you deserve to breathe clean, healthy air.
We destroy bacteria and annihilate allergies.
He's making them do push-ups.
Yeah.
Huh.
See?
If you haven't had a duct cleaning in 5 years, schedule your Capitol duct cleaning today at callcapitalcares.com.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Repairing sunken or uneven concrete can be easy, clean, and half the price of replacing your concrete. Contact Raise Right to fix your trip hazards, driveway, sidewalk, pool deck, and more. Concrete lifting holes are small and nearly invisible. Go to WeRaiseConcrete.com. Raise Right, the #1 concrete lifting, foundation repair, and waterproofing team for Wisconsin homeowners. WeRaiseConcrete.com. That's WeRaiseConcrete.com.
Life's a journey, and Russ Darrow is revving up for the ride. Russ Darrow and the places you'll go. Head to RussDarrow.com to explore how they can help you get to your next adventure.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Have you heard that real estate commissions are coming down? Ask your 6% broker if they're still charging 6%. Spoiler alert, they are. Before you overpay to sell your home, Google Redefined Realty. We have 15 to 20 agents, 3 local offices, West Bend, Waukesha, and Pewaukee, and over 500 5-star Google reviews. At just 3.99%, you can sell your home for a fair price and get the professional full-service MLS representation that you deserve. Don't pay 6% in such a hot housing market. It's just 3.99% at Redefined Realty for the same thing.
By the Yard State Fair sale is here. Save 10% and get free shipping on all outdoor furniture and umbrellas when you order by August 12th with promo code CREAMPUFF. Shop By the Yard in the Expo Building, the showroom in Oconomowoc, or bytheyard.net.
Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer makes selling your home as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get a no-obligation cash offer in 24 hours. Make sure it works for you, then pick your closing date. We will handle literally everything else at no expense. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Welcome back to the Turd-Stirring Twerp Show. Stirring turds since 2017. I got to admit, out of all the angry left-wing responses that we have gotten, that one might be my favorite. That one might be my absolute favorite. No, it doesn't make sense, but it was original. I did get a text from a plumber. He said, maybe turd stirring isn't totally an insult. I am a plumber after all. I said, thank you for your support, you glorious turd stirrer. You. Yes, we do. I do want to have much better, best responses, most intelligent responses Dan has heard all day. I do have to do a better job of just plumbing the depths of Twitter, aka X, because folks, let me tell you, the libs on there are absolutely hilarious. I mean, some of the stuff that they post is just, utter gold. And I always forget to check X, to check Twitter. We sort of do this sporadically. Whenever I happen to see something, see a lot of the response I just don't see. You know, with no false modesty, I get a ton of responses, especially when we're doing the state's largest early vote drive. I get a ton of texts. It's just impossible to see some of these hate messages, but rest assured, we will be doing more of those. We are also in the process of putting together our Kamala Harris theme song. We hope to have it ready within the next couple of days. Once you hear it, you'll realize why it took a little time to do. What is the song? I'm not gonna tell you what the song is, Dave. It is not Taylor Swift. It is not Taylor Swift. What Taylor Swift song would even fit? How about that? How about It's Me? Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. No, it's not going to be Taylor Swift. I don't want to get sued by her people. But we will have a Kamala Harris theme song. I believe we are also going to bring back Deep Thoughts by Kamala Harris. Some of her absolute bangers, some of the most intelligent things that she has said, just to remind people that the messianic Kamala, this latest reinvention of Kamala, is the most artificial one yet. There is a reason, folks. She hasn't done a press conference. She hasn't done even a friendly interview because she is being as tightly controlled gets. They know doggone well that if they unleash her, she's going to say something that is, in their words, weird. Just weird. Weird. The Trump-Vance team, they're just weird guys. I saw someone admit that this is all about not being... The beauty of calling them weird is because it's off-putting and there's no real way to refute it, right? The party of drag queens reading to 4-year-olds saying something else is weird, somebody else is weird, is about the height of irony. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. And I'll admit, I've been a little put off by the Olympics after the, testicle opening ceremony. It's just, I don't know. And then you follow that up with men boxing women, literally beating the crap out of women as an Olympic sport. I don't know. I'll still watch the track and field. I've still watched some of the swimming. You remember I love me some team handball. I introduced the rest of my family to team handball, which I totally wish was a bigger sport in America, because I would play the heck out of some not handball like they play in New York where you slap the racquetball up against. So it's team handball. It's like the unholy mix of soccer, basketball, and hockey. And it's fantastic. My daughter and I got my daughter into water polo. She loves her some water polo. In any event, we are out of time on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Talk to you tomorrow.